Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome back to our family meeting. This is our family recovery support group meeting. And my name is Craig, and I'm here bringing you an informative article. This article is being brought to us by addictioncenter.com. You can go online to their website, plug in, log in, or type in addictioncenter.com, right? And so without further ado, today's title is that scrolling at the bottom of your screen as well as mine, and it states family therapy for addiction treatment. Family therapy for addiction treatment. Once again, this is our family recovery support group, and I'm going to begin. So this article starts us off. Remember, this is an article written by someone who's sharing some informative information. And so when we get down to, I believe it's a counselor who's giving some information how he encounter or engage families and those with an addiction as well. So it starts us off by saying families can enhance or hinder the behaviors. All right, family therapy and addiction treatment. It says family can enhance or hinder the behaviors and recovery of a loved one with an addiction. Family therapy teaches them how to stop participating in unhealthy behaviors, support recovery, and heal the family unit. First topic of discussion, and that is, what is family therapy? Family therapy is talk therapy for family members and couples who want to improve their relationships. Its goals include decreasing stress, increasing coping skills, helping families work together to resolve problems, right? Family therapy for addiction treatment helps family members recognize how they influence the behaviors of members who misuse substances. It also helps them learn how to respond differently, which can lead to positive change. And so here there is a quote or a statement made by a said counselor, and the person states, as an addiction counselor, I work with many family members, and one of the most common focus areas was teaching them the difference between enabling and helping behaviors. Family members often don't realize they enable addiction behaviors to relieve stress and painful emotions they feel. For example, enabling stops the begging or verbal abuse from their loved one that causes them anxiety and hurt. It becomes easier to give in. Enabling also allows their loved one to continue misusing substances that may lead to adverse consequences, negative consequences, right? That can lead to misusing substances that may lead to adverse consequences. Family member helps each member gain confidence, set healthy boundaries, and apply new skills to assist their loved ones in getting the help they need. All right. And so that's the definition or explanation that was given. The next topic of discussion, and that is, how does family therapy and addiction treatment work? How does family therapy and addiction treatment work? And it states, family therapy and addiction treatment is a process involving different stages of growth and learning. Therapists often work with families both as a group and individually to assess and understand family dynamics, strengths, weaknesses, and areas for improvement. Together, they create a treatment plan focusing on positive changes to address a family member's addiction and any personal mental health issues, right? Not only the addiction or the substances, but the mental health issues as well. Family therapists utilize various methods to teach clients healthy coping skills, build support, resolve conflicts, and strengthen family bonds. Because the family is the client, therapists help set family goals and take steps to reach those goals. Therapists also facilitate and monitor progress, right? So therapy is very important because they have a lot of perspective, a lot of approaches to help the family unit become well. All right. So let's go on to the next topic of discussion. That is family therapy in inpatient and outpatient rehab. Right. Rules for family visits will vary among inpatient and outpatient rehab. However, family therapy is one of the best ways to get involved and show support for loved one's recovery. Typically, residents entering an inpatient program cannot see or talk to family members for the first few days, a week, or longer. This is for all new family members who never, maybe the first time visiting or have a loved one that may be in a rehab, inpatient and outpatient rehab, this says. All right. These are some of the procedures or rules as this article states. In the initial stage of treatment, the focus must be on physically and mentally stabilizing, right? This is for all my newcomer and seasoned family members who may be new to the journey or may still be on the road to recovery. This also gives your family time to adjust to changes, right? Your therapist may start family therapy when they feel confident you are committed to recovery and the process and motivated to make healthy change, right? It's all up to the professional. In outpatient treatment program, participant may still be living with the family, which makes family therapy crucial. Most addiction treatment programs incorporate family therapy at least once a month, sometimes more. The family attends therapy at the treatment center in designated areas. Your treatment team will determine when it is best to begin family therapy, which involve various treatment techniques chosen by a licensed. Let me say that again. This is chosen by a licensed therapist. All right, not a recovery coach. I'm talking about a licensed therapist, not a accountability partner, a licensed therapist, not a sponsor. Well, you may have a sponsor who may be licensed, maybe, but this article, for safety's sake, is a licensed therapist. All right, let's move right along. Virtual family therapy. This is, I believe this is fairly new because we're in the modern age of technology, and whereas the internet is so prevalent and popular, they have what they call virtual family therapy. I believe this is something that's helpful for a lot of people who have to work, who may have a busy schedule, whereas they may not be able to be present physically, but they can log on, or when I say present physically, I mean be able to attend or come to the site themselves to be physically in the building next to their loved ones, offline, put it like that. So this article says online therapy options may be available when family members can't attend therapy at the treatment center. Your therapist can plan online family therapy sessions for the most convenient time for multiple people in your life who can impact your recovery. Just like now, we are online. This is virtual, but we have here at Capital Recovery Center hybrid. We call this a hybrid meeting where you can have the option to either come in person or you can come online and have some information shared amongst each other. All right. So it says your therapy can plan online family therapy session for the most convenient time for multiple people in your life who can impact your recovery. Your therapist techniques during in-person sessions can be applied to virtual family therapy. Virtual family therapy can be conducted via home phone, cell phone, laptop, tablet, or desktop computer, right? So there is multiple ways of getting the information across, multiple appliances or components that people use. So they're basically allow us to be more flexible, more versatile in our approach to getting healthy. The treatment center will use a safe and confidential online platform to connect with your family members. For many families, virtual therapy offers convenient and flexible alternatives to in-person sessions. Right? Next, family therapy and aftercare. Once you complete a treatment program, services do not have to stop. It's what they call continuum of care. I was in the therapeutic community. You may have heard me say it several times over and over again. Whereas I was given a treatment plan. Once I thought I completed the program, my caseworker gave me what was called continuum of care. Mr. Serrano, what's going on?
Everything good. How are you?
You look sharp, man. You got a nice, yeah, nice shape up, cut. All right, I see you. Yeah. So we're talking about, as you can see on the bottom, family therapy for addiction treatment, right? And so we're on the part where it talks about family therapy and aftercare, right? Once you complete a treatment program, the article says services do not have to stop. Your treatment team will help you create an aftercare plan that connects you with community resources that support recovery. Examples may include peer support groups, job placement services, education, housing, or child care support. Family therapy is often considered a type of aftercare service. All right. Family members are part of your environment and must learn skills to provide the healthiest environment possible to help you avoid relapse. All right. So when I was in the therapeutic community, a program that is, it was conducted or ran through the Department of Correction. So I didn't have the opportunity or leisure to have my family be in part or be engaged with my recovery process because that's something that's not allowed. But those who are in the public or society, whereas you were in a treatment program, you're able to have your family members get involved with your recovery process. All right. Let me ask you a question, Mr. Serrano.
Yes.
You've been to a residential treatment before.
Yes.
Have you? Okay. And if you don't mind sharing, um, did they ever set up arrangement for like family members at the place where you was at to come in to be a part of it?
Yeah, they would set up arrangements every week. every week or so when I went in with my therapist, she would actually call my family, give
Okay.
them, the ins and outs of how I was doing, let them
Yeah.
know, like whoever I put down, if it was my wife at the time or my parents, she would
Yeah.
call them. And then they also would have, I think it was 2 Tuesdays out of the month where they would have a family session with a therapist that would come, and families would go in there and they would talk. And it would almost be like, they would talk about the situation they were going through so family members would understand. But that was at the gist that the family member wanted to come.
Yeah.
Like if they came, then you went into that separate group when we had groups, and we did that with the therapist. And she would help us out how to deal with it. And then she would also have people come that would wanted to have family so they could see, the
Oh,
layout, how it went.
nice. Nice. I like that approach for those who may have families who may want to, but may not, was hesitant, maybe was skeptical was like, I don't know, how it worked, but giving them a better insight
Yeah,
by
because like for me, when I first did it, it was kind of hard. I went in first and kind
okay.
of felt, kind of got a vibe from it because there's certain things, and it's kind of like I want to say like there are certain things you don't want your family members to know that you did, but at a certain point you have to let that go and be completely transparent.
Yeah, man, that's I like that. I like that because you're right, man. A lot of stuff we want to, like you said, we don't want our family members to know because we probably done did some stuff, and because we try to shield our loved ones. But like you
Mm-hmm.
said, be transparent. What they call keeping it green. Keeping our recovery is about giving it away, and by sharing. Yeah, that's hey man. Some good man. I like you, man. You guys make some good points, man. Thank you for sharing on that perspective because I never had that opportunity, and so I never experienced that. And so by listening to you and by you sharing, you sharing some light to me, and then you may be sharing. I'm quite sure you're sharing to other people who never uh, knew that perspective as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I learned a lot with them, and also like I had over there, like when we went into groups, there was a, I want to keep it anonymous, but it was he ran the group. His name was Daryl. Good man. I used to love him because they put into perspective, and it's people that have actually gone through the lifestyle. They're in recovery and they're giving back. And he would actually tell us, I'm going to be like, do you want honesty or brutal honesty? And and because you can sugarcoat honesty, but brutal
Yeah.
honesty is he would give us brutal honesty because he cared. You saw the love, like I'm not trying to sugarcoat. This is a lifestyle. It's something
Yeah.
you have to do day in and day out. So
Yeah.
it's not easy. So I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. So
Man.
not
Yeah. That's raw and uncut right there. Brutal. You want honesty or you want brutal honesty?
Mhm.
Man. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Let's move on a little bit more. All right. Let's see where we at now. Benefits of family therapy and recovery. This article says family therapy and recovery has rewards and benefits for each family as a whole and for each member separately. The uses of family therapy and addiction treatment typically include the following: restore broken family relationships, replace negative interactions with positive processes, teach positive behaviors to support healing and growth, improve communication within the family. That's good, important as well. Provide education regarding addiction, fostering healing from the effects of addiction, leverage the family to influence change. Those are some great benefits. Restoring broken families, replacing negative interaction, teach positive behaviors, improve communication, provide education, fostering healing, and leveraging the family to influence change. Man, this remind me when I was in the program, just the insight or the lingo you know, this is something that we often don't hear in our everyday language, you know, when it comes to uh, talking about people dealing with addiction and what are the antidote. And so I think when we say the benefits, the antidotes, or some of the rewards are not all of them, but they are stated a great deal in this little small segment, restoring broken family relationships. You know, that's key, that's vital, because a lot of times we sever our ties. You know, I know guys who, man, uh, who I used to run with, use drugs with, and got incarcerated, and they couldn't call home. You know, they didn't have no one to come visit them because they had broken their relationships with their loved ones. You know, even when they came home, they didn't have a place to go to. You know, and so I was one of the fortunate. I'm one of the fortunate ones that, you know, I had a family network or support system. You know, and so that's key uh, by the family therapy that helped, you know, because there may be some issues where the family say, you know what, I don't want this person back in my home. I don't trust him. He don't did me so wrong. But with a therapist, you know, they can bring this all back together and say, you know what, let's try to find some resolution and forgiveness, you know, and let's take it one day at a time, you know, and see how that work out. You know, they have all types of approaches. You know, I don't know if you ever experienced. You know, I'm quite sure you didn't experience that because you know, you have a support system. You know, and that's good. You know what I mean? But some people, you know, don't have that. I don't know if you know anybody like that. You know,
Well, yeah, I had a couple friends like that. I mean, I thank God that I had it. I mean, I took it, I stretched it to the point. I stretched to the point where like it got there. You know, it got to the point where they didn't want me around, but you know, like I was able to turn myself around to the point where they trusted me a smidge enough to give
so,
me
so
that
what?
chance.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, to take
yeah.
that chance.
Yeah.
But you
Mhm.
know, I mean, I've been there where like, wow, like, you know, like where am I gonna go? And like that feeling to me, and this is my opinion, that's
Yeah,
the worst feeling when you don't have nowhere to go and nobody to lean on, and you know that you created this.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. It's tough, man.
that's the most loneliest feeling you're ever gonna have. And I felt like that was what made me like I gotta do something.
Yeah, that's good.
You
Yeah, yeah. Turn it around, man. That's good. All right, man. Look, we're gonna keep moving on, man. We on the road right here. The
know?
next one. When is family therapy not recommended? Whoa. Now we cutting deep. It said not all family members will be receptive to participate in family therapy. Sometimes, even if your family is receptive, it may be recommended to avoid family therapy, like in a situation where it can do more harm than good. You know, and as by me reading that, it made me think about what you said. You know, certain things you might don't want to reveal because you know it can do more harm than good. You know, but like you
Mhm.
said, you have to be transparent. Let's see what the article says. It says examples may include if there is a current or past history of violence or abuse within the family. That can be tough. Whereas family therapy may not be recommended. If a family member has an untreated mental health condition that could interfere with progress. Wow, that's another one, you know, because some people who have mental health issues, they may not be ready to, or the family member might not be ready to interact with them, you know, unless they are stabilized, you know, with the proper therapy and proper medication. And so that's something to look at. If a family member cannot participate consistently due to demographics, attitude, or any other situation. If a therapist feels family therapy is too toxic, they may work with you on establishing healthy boundaries and coping skills, implementing self-care techniques, may influence other family members to do the same. And when they are healthier, family therapy will be beneficial. Right? So once the therapist, from what I'm reading, feel that everybody is are safe and equal playing fields, then they will try to find some resolve to bring the family together. So something to think about, man. Types of family therapy. There's plenty of them here. I don't know if we're gonna get through all of them. Let me put that up. That's the next topic of discussion. But we're gonna go through a couple of them just to share with one another. Types of family therapy. Family therapists can access numerous types of family therapy techniques for treating substance use and mental health disorders, which are often co-occurring. They choose techniques based on family issues, needs, and dynamics. The following are important types of family therapy. The first one, psychoeducation. Psychoeducation refers to when a licensed therapist provides tools and resources to family members of a loved one with an addiction. It teaches families about the disease of addiction and helps them engage in the treatment process. Psychoeducation goes beyond providing handouts and other printed information. It helps family understand the importance of their environment and getting loved ones engaged in treatment and recovery. During psychoeducation, families learn how to improve their coping, communication, and stress management skills. That's a key one here. Stress management skills, learning how to improve upon one's stress management skills. Because a lot of times, I know myself, sometimes we all experience stress, but I don't get to I believe now, I'm just doing my self-assessment or self-analysis. I don't get too stressed out where I'm too overwhelmed, where I'm out of control. And so that's why I believe stress management skills are very important. How do we cope? You and I had a conversation. We don't need to go into it on the air, but you deal with it your way. I deal with it my way, long as it, being effective. And so that's all we need to, keep working on and find better ways. You agree?
I agree.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So it says this method is best suited for family members who want to improve and finding a solution for their loved one's problem. Three phases are implemented, including introductory sessions, education, ongoing group support. And that is with a therapist. All right. The next one, multidimensional family therapy, MDFT. This is going to be the last one before we close out. I'm going to read it, and then if you have anything you want to add, if not, we'll close out. All right. All right. So it say MDFT focuses on treating adolescents and young adults with substance use disorders and their family members. It can also include schools, welfare programs, and other forms of support. Multidimensional family therapy teaches problem solving, communication, coping skills. It improves parenting skills and functioning while reducing family distress. All right, and say MDFT can be used in various settings, including detention centers, residencies, counseling office, treatment centers, and schools. Its four main goals benefit families. The first is to make healthy changes in the person with a better known substance use disorder. Then your therapist will work to make healthy parental and family environmental changes. Finally, they will help your family improve other influential relationship outside the family. And so that goes, so if someone has a child, or it may have a sibling, a young person, it says children and adolescents, teens, all right, who may be experiencing substance abuse disorder. They have programs that help people how to deal with not only with school issues, detention centers, but things outside of the institutions. Because a lot of times people have young people, I'm thinking, may have societal issues, may have situational issues, may have relational issues, and don't know how to respond. And that's when a therapist is needed, not only for adults, but also with teens. So we have loved ones who are struggling with substance abuse issues or mental health issues. My recommendation is find a licensed therapist, that can help us through the process. You and I have been through programs where we relied upon licensed therapists, counselors, and they have given us some coping skills of how to manage stress and in a stressful situation. So I thank you, man, for logging on. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so until the next time, man, take care of yourself, all right?
You as well. Thank you.
Thank you, bro. All right, take care. All right, everyone, take care of yourself. Until the next time.